Blessings on your day. When I was an adolescent and began puberty, I started having these dreams, and they would last like an entire lifetime. I'd go to sleep, and then I'd wake up and live another life, and then when I went to sleep again, or when I died in that life, I'd wake up in this life. A lot of different things happened. I had a lot of different dreams. It wasn't every single night, but most nights I would have these dreams. And there's one dream that really kind of like stuck. There's a lot that I remember about this one dream. And in that dream, I was like a doctor. And I went through a lot of different levels trying to understand this dream. The first kind of levels I took was when my mind operated under symbolic interaction. And I thought I was a wizard. I was like, oh, it was a lifetime that I was a wizard. And so I got all interested in that kind of thing and researched it and kind of figured it out. And well, eventually I kind of realized, I was more like a doctor in that dream. I was a doctor. I wasn't a wizard. I wasn't doing magic things, but people thought the things were magic, right? Well, there's one very practical thing. Extremely practical thing that I learned from this dream. It's so extremely practical, you're not going to believe it. So everybody knows the magic idea about wards, of casting a ward, right, against evil spirits. But, in this dream, every time I went through a door into my laboratory, I would do this weird dance. Like I'd go and I'd make sure that I'd always go to the corners with my hands and down and to the bottoms of the feet. I go with my feet, I go boof, and I go over. And I go with my other foot, I go over, and I do like this like circle. I'd be like circles. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. I make these like circles, right? I'd cover all this with my body, kind of, and then I'd open the door and then go inside. Whoosh. I'd go inside. Okay. Then I'd be inside. Okay. And then, it took me a long time to understand what was going on. But it's so practical. It makes so much sense. And what I was doing in that dream, what I was doing in that lifetime or dream or whatever, was making sure flies don't get in my laboratory. Because the flies would land in things and ruin my various like tinctures and salves. I would create these various medicinal things. It was always for like healing injuries and stuff. Like I was just like a medical doctor. But it was in ancient times. And what I was doing was making sure that flies didn't get in. So if you have a fly problem in your house, if you're like, man, how is it all these flies? I got, I got screens and I got stuff up, and how do I keep the flies out? How you keep the flies out is you do a little dance before you go in. Because flies will stand, they'll like hide along perimeters. Like they like hide along perimeters and they'll wait. And then as soon as you walk by and open the door, you walking through the door creates a draft, and opening the door will create a draft through that area. And the flies that are there will fly up, and then you walk through and they fly right through with you. And how you prevent this is you cast a ward to keep the evil spirits or flies from getting in. And I guarantee, if you start to cast a ward spell or do a crazy little dance before you go through thresholds or like thoroughfares, but especially thresholds, if you go through them and you do, cast a ward, poof, make sure there's no flies there, make sure there's no flies there. Make sure, you're literally making the flies, because when you do that, they fly away, right? When you're going whoosh, 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 they fly away. And by doing that, you are making sure no flies get in with you. So it like through this dream that I had, through this dream, I learned I learned a lot of very, very practical things from that dream. Like extremely practical things. But this is something that everybody can take home, and it's a very weird little like wow. You know, like coincidence, you know. I thought, you know, when I was like a teenager, I was like some kind of magician or something, you know. I didn't really quite understand the world pragmatically yet. I was still operating under symbolic interaction, so I did not fully understand the dream. But, you know, eventually I kind of caught on. I was like, wait a minute. I was making sure flies don't get in with me. And so there you go. That's how you keep flies from getting in with you, is you do a silly little monkey dance and make sure there's no flies around the corner about to get in with you, or cast a level 10 ward, or however you want to perceive it. Blessings.